Hi, just a little. Every now and then I get asked what amplifier I use, and this question normally comes around after I've killed a speaker or two. So this speaker, for example, has survived so far. Normally these speakers come in pairs. So that means I've got two of these. I had two of these, past tense, it's dead. With a video like that, sometimes I get questions. What amplifier do I use? Well, so the amp that I use is this one right here, and somebody at one point confused it for a DVD player. They were like, what sort of obscure brand is Crown and why are they making DVD players? And why do you have it on your desk? So yeah, this is the amp. That blows up speakers that I use sometimes. 2502, that's the model. And it does a pretty good job. I didn't get it just to blow up speakers. I got it to actually use speakers with. And that right there does the sound processing, which is something else. Might get into that later on. It's a stereo amplifier. Right now it's in stereo mode. I only use this side really. I have a shaker connected to my chair that I'm sat on right now. So the low frequencies go to that. But also we have a menu, and in that menu there's other things. So you can bridge the amp if you want. Also set crossover points, input sensitivity, and that's about it. Now, in case you're wondering what the power rating on this is, that's a back scratcher. So 2 times 440 watts at 8 ohms, or 775 watts at 4 ohms, 1200 watts at 2 ohms, or because there's 2 channels, you can bridge them, which basically means to combine them. So you could power one great big speaker like a sub. At 8 ohms, it's 1550 watts. At 4 ohms, it's 2400 watts. So it's not really meant for 2 ohm bridged. Now, some of you also know that I have a car sub downstairs, an 18-inch car subwoofer. All right, so this amplifier right here is the one that is powering my sub downstairs. So they don't make this anymore, which is why I don't put it in videos. That's actually probably more of a reason to put it in videos, really. But anyway, here we have the sub. We also have that. That is the amp that powered the sub in my car. About 7,000 watts RMS. And on top of the sub, we have this. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll turn off these two. So that's a graphic equalizer. That is a parametric equalizer. These are settings that I've set. And now I'll play this track by Don Toliver. I'm going to low pass this because of copyright. And then I'll enable these, play the music again, and we'll see if you can tell the difference. Enabled. So, not too sure if you noticed, but there's quite a difference in sound just then, and that is what this does. It processes sound. So we have a graphic equalizer, which is that. Basically, you've probably seen one of these before. Quite basic. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe I should set the focus to that instead. There we go. So as you can see, these things go up and down. That is your graphic equalizer. Basic graphic equalizer. And then we have the parametric equalizer, which is kind of similar to the graphic equalizer, except you choose which frequencies you want to change. Obviously there's a few more things too, as well as being able to set the Q, which is what that is there, the bandwidth. Then we have this is the dynamic equalizer. So you've got attack, threshold and release, much like a compressor does. Yeah, so with this, if you've got any frequencies that you'd like not to go past a certain range, and if the frequency does, get up there, it will then activate. That's what you want to use. So yeah, anyway, we also have width. So if you're using 2 speakers, then the width can add some really niceness to the sound if you tweak it just right. We have feedback destroyer. That's handy if you're doing live stuff. So there's a couple other things too, but the main things I use are these, and that is all you really need to use when you're just doing stuff for sub frequencies. Now, one person asked, doesn't doing what I've done here, basically a car subwoofer indoors, doesn't it overpower the rest of the system? And the answer is it can. You see, when I turn these two off, you could hear it, and that is what I compensated for with using these two features. Those lower frequencies, those are where this subwoofer shines. The sort of frequencies, 50, 60, 70, 80 hertz, the sort of frequencies you'd hear from a bass drum of relatively fast music. Those frequencies have been brought down, but those lower frequencies, those earth-shaking frequencies, those, I've left them as they are because I like those. So that is one reason for having something like this indoors. That was my reasoning. But yeah, it doesn't overpower anything if you do it right.